In this video, we're going to explore the power of explicit instruction in the classroom. Most teachers will already have a good understanding of explicit instruction, so this video is meant to supplement what you already know and explain the pedagogy behind the new resources. As you may already know, with explicit instruction, teachers provide clear and direct explanations, modelling and guidance to students. This instructional method aims to make learning clear and easily understandable for students, increasing their chances of success. The evidence base for explicit instruction is well supported by research. Numerous studies have shown its effectiveness in promoting learning outcomes for students, particularly for novice learners. By providing clear and direct explanations, modelling and guidance, we can help our students succeed. Before we continue, let's address the dichotomy between explicit instruction and discovery learning. Rather than viewing them as separate practices, it helps to see them as a continuum. Novice learners start with explicit instruction and gradually transition to discovery learning as they acquire the necessary knowledge and skills. Once students have demonstrated mastery in a specific domain, they are now equipped with the knowledge to apply their skills to more complex problem-solving and inquiry-based questions. Now, let's explore a key framework built into the new resources, the gradual release of responsibility model. This model is at the heart of explicit instruction. The gradual release of responsibility model within explicit instruction is what we refer to as the process of I do, we do, and then you do it. This creates a very interactive lesson where the teacher is continually using student responses to check for understanding before releasing more responsibility to the student. Many teachers likely already teach using checks for understanding. The lesson structure is cyclical in that it begins with teacher-led instruction and the responsibility is gradually released to the student for each new skill and concept. Once students have demonstrated success in the you do phase, the teacher builds on the learning with a new skill, returning to the I do phase. During the I do phase, the teacher takes the lead and provides explicit instruction. This is reflected in the new resources, which demonstrate skills, strategies or concepts, while breaking them down into smaller, manageable and digestible steps, reducing the cognitive load. In the we do phase, the teacher begins to release responsibility and guide student practice. This guided practice is a dynamic phase, with discussion and continual back and forth with students. As you may have experienced in your own classroom, it is almost like a tennis match, with responsibility and thinking moving between the teacher and the students. Finally, in the you do phase, the resources gradually withdraw scaffolds and supports, allowing students to practice independently. This deliberate practice promotes independence, confidence and fluency. Throughout the we do and you do phases, the new resources give teachers advice for checking for understanding by using formative assessments, such as mini whiteboard responses, questioning, and circulating the room. The new lesson resources embed continual and routine opportunities to practice, which helps keep the lesson's pace and allows students to remain active learners. The resources encourage interactive instruction with consistent feedback, so that teachers can be responsive to student understanding. If the students have yet to succeed in an area, the resources provide options for reteaching a concept and returning to the I do teaching stage. As many teachers know from their own teaching experience, when students are given the structure to achieve success due to scaffolding, guidance and practice, this leads to improved motivation and retention of key knowledge and skills. To make explicit instruction effective, the resources are structured thoughtfully. Learning intentions are broken into small chunks that can be taught, checked for understanding, and retaught if needed. For example, let's consider the learning intention of partitioning two-digit numbers. We can break it down into 3 separate skills to ensure targeted instruction and practice. Through careful planning, the resources will help teachers anticipate possible misconceptions and plan for success. The lesson resources provide support for teachers to explicitly teach these concepts. On each slide, a symbol will indicate which phase of the lesson each learning activity is in and provide guidance about which options a teacher might take. In this lesson, the I do phase, we model partitioning the number 23 using manipulatives. We visually represent the number and create connections to counting. Moving on to the we do phase, we check if students can partition the number using number blocks. Once students successfully demonstrate this skill, they can put the numbers into a sentence. This has been scaffolded with a sentence stem so that students can focus solely on the skill of partitioning the number, and we are reducing students' cognitive load by not having to put sentences together. When looking at the I do and the we do, we call these problem pairs. They are both explicitly looking at the success criteria. I can partition 2-digit numbers between 20 and 99 without zeros. As many teachers may know, using matched problem pairs within explicit instruction is crucial when teaching mathematics. Matched problem pairs consist of 2 problems that are structurally identical but differ in only one key aspect. This approach allows students to focus on understanding the specific concept or skill being taught. By solving the first problem with teacher guidance and support, students build a strong foundation. They then transfer their knowledge to independently solve the second problem, reinforcing their understanding and promoting retention. Matched problem pairs provide targeted practice, help address misconceptions, and develop students' problem-solving abilities, making them an essential tool in effective mathematics instruction. In the final you do phase, students engage in deliberate practice with a gradual release of scaffolds and cues. As teachers, we use formative assessment to monitor their progress and address misconceptions promptly. Once students master the skill, we repeat the process and build on new examples. By employing explicit instruction, the resources provide clear explanations, structured guidance, and ongoing practice opportunities. This approach enhances comprehension, addresses misconceptions, and leads to a greater understanding of maths.